Buongiorno, bonjour, buenos dias, the multilingual Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta, London. We're doing our morning program as usual, and for some reason or other you're stuck with me today, so apologies for that. Jai Gurudev. Okay, so as I open my tablet on Loving Search for Lost Servants, I'm going to continue on from yesterday's reading there. And Guru Maharaj was about to tell us a little story. Okay.
Ravana wanted to capture Sita.
Ravana, yes. I was just thinking, trying to backtrack a little bit, but anyway, I'm...
You've got the place.
Yes, thanks, Maharaj. Okay, anyway, I'll just read the last paragraph, but that doesn't really make sense. But to realize this, what are we realizing? That we are a slave, and only the power of Yoga Maya, those who are taken up into that plane forget that they are slaves. That is the greatness and magnanimity of that atmosphere where love is intensely flowing. It is really by their love and not by our own fortune that we may somehow gain entrance into that high and noble land. Okay? Because it's a descending process, not an ascending process. We are dependent on the grace of the higher Vaishnavas to draw us up. But to realize this, we must realize the spiritual position of Krishna's name, form, and eternal associates. Krishna's name is not material. We cannot capture the name of Krishna simply by vibrating the syllables of the name with our tongue. Ravana wanted to capture Sita Devi and thought that he had done so. But the fact was that he could not even touch the holy body of Sita Devi. What Ravana captured was only a mundane representation of Sita Devi, a material double. What do they call him? A doppelganger, right? An imitation, which was like a statue of Sita Devi. Sita Devi herself is another thing. She is not made of flesh and blood. For a person here in this world, Sita Devi and her divine plane is not at all approachable. A mundane person cannot see, feel, or enter that plane. What to speak of the possibility of snatching Sita Devi and taking her away? The scriptures have explained that Sita's capture was all show. Ravana was cheated. Of course, the apparent kidnapping of Sita by Ravana was done to serve some purpose, to teach something to the people of this mundane world. But in the real sense, no Ravana can come in connection with any of the eternal associates of the Lord who are living in Vaikuntha. In the same way, no mundane person can touch the Vaikuntha name simply by imitating its sound. Recently, I was asked about a young boy who had been killed in an accident. I was told that he shouted the name of Krishna at the time of death. I was asked what was his destination. I explained that whether one is young or old in the plane of flesh and blood is no qualification for spiritual attainment. One's mentality must be examined. According to the particular time and place and the conception of the person involved, that sound may be the genuine name, or it may be Namabhas, the shadow of the real name. Just while we're thinking about this story about Sita and Ravana, I think it might be in Golden Staircase, maybe. There's a little article where Guru Maharaj talks about that, and And how Mahāprabhu himself found in some scripture in South India some text out of a manuscript about how it wasn't the real Sita, it was some false Sita. And he said, give me that piece of manuscript, or someone copied it, or he took it and they replaced it or something. Oh no, I think he took the original just to this devotee, the Brahmana. He was super disturbed, and he was fasting, and he was just going to fast till death because he couldn't tolerate that Ravana had taken Sita. But then Mahāprabhu brought this.
What was that?
No, I can't remember which scripture it was from. Kurma Purana. Okay, there we go. Leela Moy is the new brainy one. At least we've got a brain somewhere. Okay. National Naam. When Gandhi was shot, he cried, Ram, Ram. He was shot in the chest and his spectacles were thrown into the street. Okay. Within half an hour he passed away, but he pronounced the words Ram, Ram. He was on his way to deliver a religious lecture, but his mentality was full of thoughts of national progress. So in his case, the vibration of the name may have worked in the plane of nation building. To understand a person's destination at the time of death, we must ask, what was his mentality? And I think it was earlier on in this chapter, right, when Guru Maharaj was really going into detail about how that it has to be that the conception that we have while we're chanting has to be the conception of Goloka Vrindavan, right? Otherwise it's not, there's no consideration of whether it can be even attempting to approach the holy name. Sometimes chanting the name may result in namabhas, the shadow of the name. Whether or not it is Shuddha Nam, the genuine name, depends on the mental system of the person chanting the name. It depends on his relation towards Krishna, his intention. Gopi, Gopi, Gopi. A few days before Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas, he was chanting Gopi, Gopi, Gopi. Hearing this, a tantric brahmana came to give some advice to the Lord. Pandit, he said, you are a scholar. You know the scriptures. Still, you are chanting the name Gopi. What benefit will you get from that? The scriptures say that if you chant the name of Krishna, you may get some benefit. You will find this in many places in the scriptures, especially in the Puranas. Why then do you chant Gopi Gopi? Angered at the Brahmana's ignorance, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in the mood of a follower of the gopis, picked up a stick and began to rebuke him. He said, you have come from the enemy camp to convert us into followers of Krishna? He ran after the Brahmana to beat him with his stick. In this example, we find that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was chanting Gopi Gopi and neglecting the name of Krishna. Apparently, he was advised to take the name of Krishna and became enraged. But what is the underlying thought there? If we are to understand the effect of someone's chanting of the holy name, we must examine his underlying purpose. Sometimes his chanting may have some effect, but not always. Still, Jiva Goswami mentions the following example as evidence that the holy name may have some effect even if one is unaware of its full meaning. Once a wild boar attacked a Mohammedan, and the Mohammedan cried, Haram, Haram! Haram means that abominable hog. On the other hand, Haram means the Lord, who has allowed a hog to attack me. Somehow Lord Ram was invoked, and the holy name had a divine influence on the Mohammedan, who attained liberation. Another example given in the scriptures is that of Valmiki. Before becoming a saint, the sage Valmiki was a dacoit. Okay, there's hope for all of us, right? But the great sage Narad had a plan to benefit him. Narad thought, this person is the most notorious and heinous dacoit I have ever seen. Let me experiment with him to see the potency of the holy name. Nice experiment, huh? We've heard that Gurudev saying, I used you all, like this is our good fortune, right? Is that we can be used by the upper plane for some experiment. Where was it? I should, to see the potency of the holy name, I'll experiment with him. I shall ask him to chant the holy name of Ram. He tried, but Valmiki could not pronounce the holy name of Ram. Then Narad told him to chant Mara, the word for murder. Instead, the dacoit said, yes, I can do this. This is just the opposite of the name of Ram. He began to chant Mara, 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 Rama, 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 Rama. In this way, after some time, Mara became Rama. Valmiki began to chant the name of Rama, and gradually his mental attitude changed. So it is possible for the name to have an effect on someone, even if he has no proper conception of its meaning. This is called namabhas, the shadow of the name. It can affect liberation, but a real devotee is not interested in liberation. He wants to enter the domain of divine service. It was just making me think when we were in France just recently, then we were on Sankirtan, and these young guys, they were joining in, and they were trying to copy what we were saying. For quite a while now, they're dancing with us and trying to. It was cool to see that kind of trying to really understand what we were saying and copy it. Amazing.
Because they saw that everyone was so happy doing it.
Yeah.
They were kind of just trying to get into it and then thought, okay, so we need to do that thing that they're doing.
Yeah. And they did it for quite a while. It wasn't just a few minutes. They were there for longer than I expected, actually. And then we saw them again later when we were leaving.
Yeah.
The sound and its effect depends upon the attitude we accept and the quality we can conceive, because the actual Vaikuntha Nam is infinite. In that plane, the divine name is equal to the substance named. Okay, in that plane, the divine name is equal to the substance named. So the thing and its name are not different. So that was me just adding that. When the sound aspect is one and the same with the original aspect of the thing, that is Vaikuntha Nam. Here in this world, a blind man's name may be Padmalochan, lotus-eyed, but really he may be blind. The name and the figure may be entirely different. But in Vaikuntha, in the infinite world, the name and the named are one and the same. Yet to experience the Vaikuntha Nam, one must avoid both Nam Aparad, offences to the holy name, and Namabhas, the shadow of the holy name. By Namabhas, we get some relief from this worldly bondage, and by Namaparad, we become entangled in this Mayic world. But the ordinary physical sound cannot represent the real name, which is supernatural. It is said that one name of Krishna can remove more ignorance and sin than a man has the power to commit. But what is the quality of that one name? We must chant the physical name of, we may chant the physical name of Krishna so many times without getting the result of even one real name. There is a great difference between the ordinary sound of the name, the superficial Mayak name, and the pure name. The pure name is one and the same with Krishna, but that descends down to our level only by His grace. we cannot vibrate it simply by dint of our moving our tongue and our lips. The pure name of Krishna is not lip deep, but heart deep. And it ultimately goes beyond the heart and reaches the land of Krishna. When Krishna comes down, the name Krishna comes through, when Krishna comes down, the name Krishna comes through the heart and moves the lips and tongue. That vibration is the holy name of Krishna. Krishna Nam. Okay, I'll leave it there. Amazing. Guru Maharaj making it very clear for us. And it made me think about, Dave Ashish put it very simply the other day, you know, we're not just chanting and then thinking about stuff, you know, which is what happens, you know. So easy, you get distracted. You're walking around, you're looking at things. It's very difficult actually to focus on the name and then also have some heart expression. We're trying to pray for, engage me, connect me. This is the thing, the real substance, not just blah, 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 walking around looking at things, you know, like, and thinking about things and somehow. But if we have some intention, some good intention, then Nama Bus can rescue us. Purify us. Okay, so we're going to do, so that was Guru Maharaj, sorry, Jai Srila Guru Maharaj. Now we'll read some Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta, Madhya-līlā, chapter 8. Jai Jai Sri Caitanya, Jai Nityananda, Jai Advaita Chandra, Jai Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jai Chaitanya, Jai Nityananda, Jai Advaita Chandra, Jai Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Okay, so there's a conversation between Mahāprabhu and Rāmānanda Rāya, and Mahāprabhu is asking many questions, and Rāmānanda Rāya is responding. So I'll just read the English of the last verse that we finished with yesterday. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu further inquired, out of many types of meditation, which is required for all living entities? Srila Rāmānanda Rāya replied, the chief duty of every living entity is to meditate upon the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna and chant Hare Krishna. Anyway. Okay, today, text 254. Sarvacha jivera kartavya kahandas brajabhumi brindavan jahan lilaras. Mahāprabhu asked, where should the living entity live, abandoning all other places? Rāmānanda Rāya said, he should live in the holy place known as Vrindavan or Brajabhumi, where the Lord performed his rasa dance. Shravana Madhya Jivara Kon Shrestha Shravan Radha Krishna Prema Keli Karna Rasayan. Mahāprabhu asked, out of all topics people listen to, which is best for all living entities? Rāmānanda replied, hearing about the loving affairs between Radha and Krishna is most pleasing to the ear. And I guess, you know, it's easy to, we hear these things and think, oh yeah, we're just going to go and read these things and hear these things. But where it's emphasized by Srila Gurudev and Srila Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada, of course, that it has to be done in the association of the Vaishnavas and to get that proper context and perspective. Otherwise, we're going to get lost in some fantasy land, and we always desperately actually need shelter of the senior Vaishnava.
Because sometimes an instruction is like literal or also like kind of figurative, right? Like we're not necessarily supposed to reside in Brajabhumi physically.
Yeah, exactly. What service do? Have we been given the service? You know, everything is coming from up to down by descending grace, not where, I'm going to decide I'm going to do that now. We want to approach the senior or even not approach, but wait for some, Because even if we're going and asking, oh, can I do this, can I do that, then already we kind of got our own idea about what we think we want to do, you know. But really, we want to be without desire. You know, Gurudev Kripa Bindu Diya, you know, let me be as you are without desire, you know. We sing that every morning. This is not having any desire for ourselves or our own conception or ideas about what spiritual life is. The savor, the savor comes from above, and we want to just be, okay, whatever you want, then please, you engage me. Connect me and engage me. I think Guru Maharaj says like that, right, in somewhere where about chanting the name, that's the kind of the prayer, just connect me and engage me. Upasya Ramadjekon, Upasya Pradhan, Shrestha Upasya, Jugala Radha Krishnanam. Mahāprabhu asked, among all worshipable objects, which is the chief? Rāmānanda Rāya replied, the chief worshipable object is the holy name of Radha and Krishna, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Okay, Jai. Mukti Bhukti Vancheje Kahandu Haragati Stavara Deha Deva Deha Jaiche Avastiti. And what is the destination of those who desire liberation and those who desire sense gratification? Ramananda Rāya said, those who attempt to merge into the existence of the Supreme Lord will have to accept bodies like those of trees. And those who are overly inclined towards sense gratification will attain the bodies of demigods. Okay, watch out. Get stuck in it. We think we're trying to enjoy now, you know. Imagine being in the demigod world where everyone actually is really enjoying a lot. How difficult it will be to leave that, you know. We're so attached to such stupid things here in this plane. Imagine being in a plane that's like excessively opulent and everything's happy and fine and beautiful and sweet and charming. It's like a more intense shadow of the spiritual world, really, isn't it then? You know? Because it's what it is not, but appearing like it's something so enjoyable. At least here we're getting kicked around a little bit and it might wake us up. Asagya kakachuse gyana nimba pale rasagya kokila kai premara mukule. Ramananda Rāya continued, those who are devoid of all transcendental mellows are like the crows that suck the juice from the bitter fruits of the nimba tree of knowledge. Whereas those who enjoy mellows are like the cuckoos who eat the buds of the mango tree of love of Godhead. Abhagya Gyani Asvadaye Sukshagyan Krishna Premamrita Pan Kore Bhagyavan. Ramananda Rāya concluded, the unfortunate empiric philosophers taste the dry process of philosophical knowledge, whereas the devotees regularly drink the nectar of love of Krishna. Therefore, they are the most fortunate of all. E Makta Duijana Krishna Katarase Nitya Gita Rodane Hoila Ratri Sheshe. In this way, Mahāprabhu and Ramananda Rāya passed the whole night relishing the mellows of Krishna Katha, topics about Krishna. While they were chanting, dancing and crying, the night ended. Tonhe nija nija karye chalila vihane sanjakale raya ashi milila aradine. The next morning, they both departed to perform their respective duties. But in the evening, Ramananda Rāya returned to meet the Lord again. Ishtagosti Krishna Katha Kahi Katakshan Prabhupada Dari Rai Kore Nivedan. That evening, after discussing the topics of Krishna for some time, Ramananda Rāya caught hold of the lotus feet of the Lord and spoke as follows. Krishna Tattva Radha Tattva Prema Tattva Sar Rasa tattva lila tattva vivita prakar. There is a variety of transcendental truths. The truth about Krishna, the truth about Radharani, the truth about their loving affairs, the truth about transcendental humours, and the truth about the Lord's pastimes. Et tattva more chitte kaile prakashana brahma keveda jena padaila narayana. You have manifested all these transcendental truths in my heart. This is exactly the way Narayan educated Lord Brahma. Antarjami Ishvarera e riti hai, bahirena kahe vastu prakashe hridoy. Rāmānanda Rai continued, the super soul within everyone's heart speaks not externally but from within. He instructs the devotees in all respects, and that is his way of instruction. Janmadyasya jato nayad itaratas chatesh abhigya swarat tane brahma hidaya adikavaye mukhayanti yatsurya. Oh, it's very long. Tejavari midam jata vinimaya jata trisago nisha. Sorry. Damna svena sada nyasta kuhakam. Sounds like Pandita knows this sloka. Satcham param dimahi. Should have got you to pronounce it properly. And where is this from? Oh, it's the opening invocation, Srila Bonus. Shows how foolish I am. O Lord Sri Krishna, son of Vasudeva, of all-pervading personality, all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. I meditate upon Lord Sri Krishna because he is the absolute truth and the primeval cause of all causes of the creation, sustenance and destruction of the manifested universes. He is directly and indirectly conscious of all manifestations, and he is independent because there is no other cause beyond him. Am I doing okay, Devananda? I think Devananda knows actually the English translation word by word, so I've got to be careful. I get the English right. It is he only who first imparted the Vedic knowledge unto the heart of Brahmaji, the original living being. By him, even the great sages and demigods are placed into illusion as one is bewildered by the illusory representations of water seen in fire or land seen on water. Only because of him do the material universes temporarily manifested by the reactions of the three modes of nature appear factual, although they are unreal. I therefore meditate upon him, Lord Sri Krishna, who is eternally existent in the transcendental abode, which is forever free from the illusory representations of the material world. I meditate upon him, for he is the absolute truth. Haribol. Ek sangsaya mora achaya hridoy, kripa kore kaha more, tara nischoy. Rāmānanda Rai then said that he had but one doubt within his heart, and he petitioned the Lord, please be merciful upon me and just remove my doubt. Pahile dekilung tomara sanyasi svarupa, eva toma dekimui, shama gopa rupa. Rāmānanda Rai then told Mahāprabhu, at first I saw you appear like a sannyasi, but now I am seeing you as Shyama Sundar, the cowherd boy. Tomara samukhe deki kanchana panchalika, tara gora kante tomara sarva angadaka. I now see you appearing like a golden doll, and your entire body appears covered by a golden luster. Tahate prakata dekon svavangsi vadan, nanabhave chanchala tahe kamala nayan. I see that you are holding a flute to your mouth and your lotus eyes are moving very restlessly due to various ecstasies. Ei mata toma deki hai chamatkar, akapate keha Prabhu, karana ihar. I actually see you in this way, and this is very wonderful. My Lord, please tell me without duplicity, what is causing this? Prabhu kahe Krishna tomar gata prema hoy, premara svabhava e janiha nischay. Mahāprabhu replied, you have a deep love for Krishna, and one who has such deep ecstatic love for the Lord naturally sees things in such a way. Please take this from me to be certain. Stavara jangama deke nadeki taramurti Savatrahai Nidja Ishta Deva Spurti. The Mahabhagavat, the advanced devotee, certainly sees everything mobile and immobile, but he does not exactly see their forms. Rather, everywhere he immediately sees manifest the form of the Supreme Lord. Which is interesting, right? Is that shloka from the Bhagavatam was inserted there, right? Saying it looks real, but it's not real. But then here, Mahaprabhu is saying that the Paramahamsa sees the Lord everywhere. So that thing which is being said is unreal, is not unreal in the sense that the Paramahamsa will see Krishna there. The Paramahamsa will see Krishna everywhere.
Well, what do you mean by real and not real? What? I don't understand.
Real. Well, that sloka from the Bhagavatam was saying.
Oh, that's speaking about the shadow.
The shadow and the seeing water in. Right.
Yes,
but the Paramahamsa sees.
Right, but it means that thing that you see is a reflection of something that exists somewhere else. So it's real, but it's just a shadow. But it doesn't exist somewhere else.
Yeah. Exists in consciousness.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the point. The Paramahamsa, but we're not seeing it like that, right? We're seeing all these things in. People get confused by seeing things and thinking something that it's not on a subtle level and on a gross level. But the Paramahamsa is never bewildered by any apparent shadows or misperceptions. They're always just seeing Krishna everywhere.
A shadow of reality.
Yeah, they don't see any shadows. They just see reality. Sarva bhuteshu ja pasyed Bhagavad bhavam atmana bhutani bhagavatya-atmani esha bhagavatottama. Mahaprabhu continued, a person advanced in devotional service sees within everything the soul of souls, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. Consequently, he always sees the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead as the cause of all causes and understands that all things are situated in him. Vanalatas tarava atmani vishnum vyajayantya iva pushpa paradaya paratapara vitapa madudara prema rishta tanavo vavishu sma. Excuse my poor pronunciation. The plants, creepers and trees were full of fruits and flowers due to ecstatic love of Krishna. Indeed, being so full, they were bowing down. They were inspired by such deep love for Krishna that they were constantly pouring showers of honey. In this way, the gopis saw all the forests of Vrindavan. So that's also from Srimad Bhagavatam. Radha Krishna Tomara Mahaprema Hoy Jahantahan Radha Krishna Tomara Spuraya. Mahaprabhu continued, my dear Rāya, you are an advanced devotee and are always filled with ecstatic love for Radha and Krishna. Therefore, whatever you see, anywhere and everywhere, simply awakens your Krishna consciousness. Okay, but we are running out of time. So, Rāmānanda replied, ... We'll have to wait for tomorrow to hear what Rāmānanda replied. Jai Srila Kṛṣṇadāsa Kavirāja ki Jai, Jai Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai, Jai Srila Gurudev ki Jai, and Jai Sri Caitanya Saraswati London ki Jai. And who is going to be our Hari? Rāya.
You.
Not me. Didn't I sing already?
Yes, thank you.
Maybe Pandita can sing.
Hariharaya Nama Krishna Jadavaya Namaha.
Hariharaya Nama Krishna Jadavaya Nama.
Ram Sri Madhusudana Giridhari Gopinath Madhana Mohan Ashri Caitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Darupa Sanatan Vatara Guna Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raguna Desai Gosai Pari Charana Banda Gosai Jamu Tarata Tasa Para Padare Numor Panchadya Oda De Charana Sevi Bhakta Saneva Janame Janame More Abhinava Jai Gosai Jabe Baje Koilava Shri Radha Krishna Madhya-līlā Korila Prabhu
Jai Saparikara Shishi Guru Buranga Sundar Radha Giridhari Ju ki Jai. Jai Srila Guru Dev ki Jai. Jai Srila Guru Maharaj ki Jai. Rupanaga Guru Varga ki Jai. Ramacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Jai. Jai Shri Caitanya-caritāmṛta ki Jai. Jai Loving Search for the Lost Servant ki Jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Abhinava Sundar Prabhu ki Jai. All the assembled devotees ki Jai. Harinam Kumkum Didi ki Jai. Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai. Nitai Gaura Premanande.